Hey, happy Sunday. It is 10:53 a.m. It is November 5th. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. So I wanted to come on here and make a video for this Sunday and ask everyone how they're doing. And I don't expect a reply back because I know you guys are kind of closing in on me. I'm not even able to see the numbers on my subscribers on my channel. And I understand that you guys are keeping me in this little, I don't know, this little bubble, but I do understand that I'm among people who I do admire, and I do understand that there's a lot of people who I know, and a lot of people I don't know, but they're all in this group, and I appreciate the attention. I know we went through some really rough patches in the last few months. Um, but you are my audience, and I do appreciate your support. I do think that there is a little, just a tiny little bit of a jab that I feel when, I get numbers that I can't see. It's really important for content creators to, continue to feel inspired to put out work, feel motivated to do so. And when you have numbers that can't be seen, or they're, demoralizing numbers, like, oh, five. First you start off with like nine, and then the number starts reducing. And they do this, I don't know, maybe as a form of, a release, because I know that there's not everybody in this group that like really likes me, you know what I mean? So there's some people who, just do things to try to, get under my skin, which I understand the plan, so it doesn't really work. But it is very frustrating because, people should be more motivated to work faster, like, and feel like they have some sort of reason to continue putting out the content. But the content is what I choose to do for the rest of my life. So, I would appreciate your support on Patreon. And, I think today's video is I'm talking about Wanderlust. And I'm experiencing Wanderlust in so many different ways. Like, I feel as though in my life, there's a lot of things that held me back. And I think that's a feeling of a lot of people. A lot of people get to a certain age, and people, generally try to put them in boxes, like, well, maybe you're 60 years old, and maybe, you want to shift direction into something that you're more focused, more, you have more of a desire to follow and move into. And then you have people who are around this person who feels as though, well, this person's this particular age, and everyone in this group who's at 60 years old, um, are raising grandkids and doing all these other activities, but this particular person has this, this deep need to fulfill this desire, especially as we're getting closer towards the ends of our lives. I'm a realist, okay? This is not me being morbid. It's just about having a better quality of life, and there's some of us who want to, if we had the ability, we would just pack up in like an RV and just like travel across the United States, or do something like that, which that is one of my dreams, by the way. But, there's so many things that I feel as though I missed out on in life, and I know that there's a lot of other people who also feel this way, and they shrug their shoulders and they give up on life, and then at the very end of their lives they're going to feel regret because they didn't get the best out of this particular life. So my life has always been blocked in some way, and I know, in the last few weeks I've been coming to the understanding of, oh my God, I can't tell you how much my brain has been spinning around on this issue, but I don't want to go too much into it. But I know that I've come to the realization that, I'm not from where I thought I was. I'm not really related to the parents that I was raised by. And that changes a lot of things, but it also gives me a lot of answers to a lot of things. Apparently, what went on in my last life has carried over into this present life, okay? And, I know that I've spoken about my abusive family in the past, my ex-family in the past, and I've experienced in my life a lot of abuse, okay, and in some different forms, different forms. Apparently in the past, in one of my past lives, it was a little bit harsher, but in this life, a lot of it was verbal, a lot of it was manipulation, a lot of it was whatever, bullying, that kind of stuff. So I feel in my life, I've always had a distrust of people, and rightfully so. I think people have a lot in my life have a lot to do with, my outlook on life in general. Okay, that's not to say that people can't necessarily change, but I also know that I'm a person who has a very unique set of standards and ideas. I'm very law abiding, and I also understand ethics, and morals and so on. So it's difficult for me to deal with the outside world because the outside world has not been really given any good examples on, how to behave. A lot of times, we deal with obstruction of our goals with people that are close to us, and I know that I'm not just speaking for myself. When I'm making these videos, it's really for you guys, but I also know that, and please forgive me if I continually talk about myself, it's because everything in my life seems to be very shocking, because first when I started making these, like, I would call them complaint videos. Like my last channel was just a video of like workplace abuse, so on and so forth. And I thought this was more of a family issue, and then it just like kept spinning out of control into where I am now, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, it's almost science fiction. It's enough to make a TV show off of it, even probably a series, okay? But I'm not kidding. It's just like really ridiculously odd. You know what I mean? So it kind of left me with this bizarre feeling. But I will say that my problems may not be as my problems are still relatable to people who are not necessarily, gifted in the way that I am. But it seems to happen in a lot of families where there's a lot of, people who kind of overstep their boundaries and they want to direct the lives of other people. And I think it's, important for me to tell people that this is your life and you have to appreciate it for what it is. And only you can make those decisions. I understand there's a certain level of what they call compromise when you're dealing with loved ones and that sort of thing. But you also have to kind of strike a balance in those situations. I am not married, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I've dealt with so much abuse in my life that people who were around the people that I've known had, inadvertently, I suppose, kind of taken on the same sort of behavioral traits of the people that we mutually knew. Like, obviously people were close to my ex-family members, so they only know me from what the complaints that they heard from my ex-family members. Okay, so sometimes we get in situations where we're dealing with, people and groups of people who are kind of always going to be one-sided, and they're going to kind of bully you. It's kind of like an extension of the main bully type thing, and this is what we experience, and it's hard because you're kind of in this world all by yourself, and you have to stand up to sometimes huge institutions, to get your point across, which is a shame, especially here in the United States. But what I'm basically trying to do is encourage people to embrace their freedom. You know, we have freedom. And we sometimes, sadly, even here in the United States, have to stand up for ourselves, even if it's something very small. You know, you might be 60 years old and your friends are bitching because they don't like you wearing a mini skirt. But you know what? Maybe that's important for you at this point in your life. Maybe it is. You know what I mean? If it is important to you at this point in your life, then please, by all means, do it. It's your life. You're making the best of it. If that's one of your requirements to feel good and feel as though your life is going to be complete, don't let people tell you that you cannot do what you want to do. And if they don't like it, they don't have to look. They don't have to look. But you yourself, you have to follow that. You have to follow what it is in your mind. Otherwise, you are wasting your opportunity to enjoy the quality of your life. And that's really what it's all about. So there's really no reason to wait around and, hope for people to approve of what you're going to do. This is where, it is a very, a defining moment, because sometimes if your friends cannot accept your happiness, then you obviously know who your true friends are. And it really gets down to that. You have to be strong in order to really follow through. But what's the most important is you have to love yourself more than you love anyone else. And the sad part is people will tell you you have to love people. And yeah, you do. Love is shown by making sure that you don't do things to other people that you wouldn't want done to yourself. It's a form of mutual respect. We can't love and adore and think that everything your next door neighbor or the person across the street or the person you work with is cute and adorable and endearing. That I think that's where people get really messed up on when they hear things like we should love one another. And obviously that sort of love does not come natural to people who don't fucking deserve it. You know what I mean? But it is a form of respect. There's different kinds of love. There's love that we show on a platonic level. There's love that we show on a sexual level. There's love that we show on just a mutual respect. And that's basically what it is. Just show respect. If you don't want people harming you, then don't harm other people. Don't inflict bullshit on other people. And, that's basically what it is. It's not about or letting people walk all over you or, that sort of thing. It's just basically, let's just keep it respectful. You know what I mean? Let other people do what they're going to do as long as they're not hurting other people. There are certain things that some people want to do. That's a desire, a deep desire for them, which I was thinking about this video idea. It's called, What Do We Do with Rhodas? There are people in this world who are uncontrollably evil. Beyond their, they just exist for the purpose of evil. You know what I mean? And we have to be aware of those too. There's going to be people who are preventing you in your life, causing obstacles in your life just because they're evil and they're meant to be there to be evil. It's a spiritual battle that you have to fight. And then you have people who are just kind of ignorant and don't really understand that they're blocking you. They might even be coming up with reasons, that they're expressing their concern, and there's nothing wrong with that if they're truly concerned, okay? But some people don't understand boundaries, and so this is why you have to set them. You have to let them know, okay, well, this is my life, and this is what I define as a friend. A friend fuels me. They put me in the right direction. They allow me to be happy. They want me to be happy. That's the gift that's the only true gift that your friend should give you that is of any value is true love. You know what I mean? Letting you be who you want to be. And that's why they love you in the first place. But anyway, I think you should, develop your interest and be who you want to be. And it might be a very slow, gradual process. There's a lot of women who feel very restricted in their lives. I think this is a good example. Like me. Okay, I'm a single woman, and I'm 52 years old. I probably couldn't have children at this point, but still, society thinks, you know, or at least thought at one point. People are kind of backing off of that issue, and I do appreciate it, because that's just like, it's almost like, well, you find yourself a man, and I mean, like, or we're going to exclude you, or we're not going to treat you the same way as we treat everyone else. You know, people have their reasons. You know what I mean? For why they do what they do, and in this world, sadly, I mean, the United States is really, I mean, you think about the way it was constructed, and the the laws that we have here in this country. I think we have great laws. I really do. I think great men designed this country very well. But there's a lot of ignorance, and I think we have the right to be free. We're not harming other people. You know what I mean? I think it's very fortunate to be in the United States, and we should take advantage of that for our own personal pleasure. Unfortunately, like I said, we're going to have to deal with people who are going to get in our way, but kindly put them in their place. You know, let them know that this is your life, and you need to make decisions for your highest good. You know, and if they can't accept that, well, then you can pretty much drop them, because they're not going to be of any value to you, not any real value. They're only going to bring you down. So anyway, I did get some messages and downloads today. Um, I have this vision, or this idea in my mind, that I'm going to be somehow reuniting with people that I used to know, and that I will be meeting with celebrities in some way, which I think I already am when I make these videos. I know my channels are blocked. I know you guys like to fiddle around with my shit. I totally understand that. I'm aware of that, okay? This is the way it is. Apparently, I am who I am. This is just the way it's going to be. I can't change it, okay? But this is what it is. I do wish that in the future there's going to be a little bit more interaction, because I know people, I also get this view and this vision that people think that just because I'm a genius, that other people bore me. It's no, I mean, I do want to have interaction with people. I mean, I like it when people leave comments for me. I like it when people email me, okay? I think people are afraid, like, they're going to be identified. They might be using a fake email or something, and they think I'm going to know who they are or whatever. You know, I'm not going to tap in that much. I mean, whatever. But I do hope there's going to be more interaction in the future. Also, I get the message that people understand that I am totally sane. Like, I have, I'm 100% mentally stable. I am mentally stable, and people understand that. Okay, so people know that I'm not bullshitting when I'm telling my story. I made over 1,200 videos on my last channel, and I'm starting to make quite a little collection on this new channel. No, there's nothing wrong with me at all. I actually thought in the beginning that it was just my ex-siblings that were jumping on my ass out of jealousy. You can see the entire thing in my old channel. Me wondering what the hell went on over at some employer's place that I don't really care to mention, and how it escalated the entire process. You can see it year after year after year after year after year. So people know, no, I'm not crazy. And I appreciate that, because, you know, with the weird shit that I've experienced, I can honestly tell you, I understand how people could think that. But when you explain to people in terms of religion, on what really religion is about, or what religion should be about, is spirituality. And I think that one video that I made on my other channel before that one got blocked, the Dark Desert Moon one, I was talking about the gifts of, like, clairvoyance, being clairaudient, blah 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 blah. I was basically talking about ESP, and I was explaining it in a way where people, I was hoping that it would be relatable, because really, when you think about religion, religion is not really a political thing. Meaning, I know people use it like as a form, like as a, in my, when I was being bullied, people were using it kind of like a good old boys club, like, hey, you're a Christian, okay, you're in, so we can, like, bully Maria, right? No, it's not about that. It is, like, seriously about a deep spiritual connection and knowing what is sacred. Knowing, and I think a lot of people have gotten to the point where they have no concept of what is sacred. Okay, but this is what it is. Okay, and I made that video. I wanted people to understand that this is what it is. Okay, Jesus himself was a lot like, I'm never going to compare myself to Jesus. Okay, I have respect for Jesus. Okay, but that's why I don't compare myself to him. But I understand that he was a person who had pre-existing origin, and he came here on earth, and people, this is a whole story behind Christianity, by the way. Okay, so when you put it in these terms, please forgive me, I got interrupted. So anyway, what I was saying was, when you put it in terms of religion, the same religion that was kind of attacking me, I'm trying to let them understand that that is what the religion is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about like this deep connection with the deity, their deity or whatever. So I wanted people to understand what that was, and I think that that helped a little bit. And so I'm glad that people don't think that I'm crazy, because I know that I'm not crazy. I understand I'm fully not crazy, so I'm glad other people understand that too. Also, I got this message that and see, I got this message, and I feel really weird about saying it, but I do believe that there's press releases relating to the Prince Alamejo being returned to Ethiopia is being on hold. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. And, I sometimes question the messages that I get, only because I guess I'm a realist, I don't know. I'm just one of those people. But I get that message. And so if that's true, and well, a part of me believes that. You know what I mean? I believe it, but I don't want to jump ahead and say something like that. But anyway, I'm very grateful if that's the case. Maybe I'll get permanent confirmation next week. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, also, people want me to know that it's okay to talk about the experiment, and I did touch briefly on that. The nature versus nurture, whatever, or the flip it the other way around. I think I think this is kind of what keeps me thinking so much. It does kind of not so. How can I say this? The whole issue. I think the whole thing that like really shook me was the fact that my parents weren't my parents. That's what shook me. But it also answered a lot of questions, as to why I was so different, why I had a completely different set of standards. Also, it helped me understand why I have this form of wanderlust, right? Why is it that I feel like I can't stay still? Like right now, I'm hoping and wanting very much to be able to travel. I want to travel. I want to experience different. I want to see more. You know what I mean? And I know that in my life, I've dealt with obstacles. I dealt with obstacles when I was growing up. I dealt with obstacles in the last 30 something years, especially in the workforce, dealing with what I thought was just my siblings, but apparently I had the alphas on my ass, and I really didn't even know it was that big. But anyway, I think that's what is so eye-opening to me, is understanding the oppression that I dealt with, not just in this life, but also my past life. And I feel as though I've always had to deal with stuff that I didn't want to deal with, and it's just too much for me, you know what I mean? And I think that sometimes our past life issues carry over into the next life, and I remember reading on reincarnation back, I would say, the late 90s and the early 2000s. I remember like really praying and meditating and asking, if I could understand more about if my past lives, especially as I get older. And I think the whole revelation that I received like in the last few weeks just kind of like really threw me, because I know that I'm getting older, which is one of the reasons why it's important for me to start talking more and sharing my, that doesn't mean I'm going to die, But this is a cycle of my life where this is a mission that I feel like I need to complete. Like it's something, it's work that I feel like I need to share with people, and then I need to discuss and leave a mark. Um, for I need to leave a mark somehow in this life. You know what I mean? I think this is one way of me to do it. So that whole revelation that I received about the prince and all of that was like, it was deeper than I can even express. It was just like, wow, this is a point in my life that I need to get busy. It's a point in my life that explains why I am the way that I am. And some of you guys might be the same way. Not necessarily the same way, but still you might be one of these older people who have a drive, or not even have to be old. Maybe you have some sort of internal drive that other people don't understand. They don't get it. You know what I mean? But it's your mission in life to get to that. You know what I mean? And hopefully my videos are going to help you do that. And I am working on my video of the gods. And my God, like, okay, I'm only like limiting 2 gods per culture that I'm discussing because there's so many of them. And I think the purpose of me making these videos, by the way, is because I think it's important for people to dive deeper. Like this video only scratches the surface of the deities that, you know, other cultures recognized at one point, various cultures recognized at one point. And what I'm trying to do is get people to open their minds and understand that there's more to their lives than they actually could have ever imagined, you know. And some people, they hear these little bits and pieces about their history, but they don't really understand how precious and valuable they really are, and how coming to understand, you know, certain elements of your origin are so important for your own personal growth. And so that's the purpose of the gods. Also, I will say in energy work, sometimes when you're working with various forms of energy, you're working from the energy that's built within ourselves, okay? And some of you guys may not even belong to any religion at all. And my purpose is to introduce you to the gods, because you might want to experiment when you're working with spells and rituals that seem a little bit heavy for your own personal energy. So then you want to work with a certain deity, okay? So that's just an option for you. Also, the message that I got, and I think I've shared this message before, but it's still in my head, is that the Howlands loved the prince, which I believe this is true, because this is one of the reasons why I've had encounters with my father's spirit. I would say it started right after I left the an employer's, I'm not going to mention the employer, the employer's place, where I had a huge blow up, okay? And I know that I believe that my father's spirit was extremely loyal to this prince. Extremely, okay? Which I think is maybe the reason why I feel like I have such high standards for friendship. Maybe this is one of the reasons why, another reason why, not just in this life, okay? Because obviously in my past lives, I don't feel as though I felt like I had any true friends. And in this life, I felt like the same way. And I didn't just feel it, I feel like I know what a confirmation of it. So I think because most people don't have that sort of loyalty, you know, for people that they claim to love. And I'm the kind of person, I am very sincere. Like I have the same sort of sincerity. I would, if chances are the relationship that I may have had with James Gordon in the past life, I would probably do the same for him. You know, it must have been that form of, or that sort of bond or something. How deep that bond goes, I don't know. I suppose I will know later. But yeah, I mean, I don't think people understand what's sacred, and I don't think they understand what sincere is. You know, it's deep. You know. So anyway, also, I think that kind of covers what I was thinking. Also, okay, the other message I'm getting is that I'm fully accepted as a United States citizen. There is no argument about it, and I'm very grateful for that, because God knows I would not have arranged that myself. I was too young to do that. But I am very grateful to live in the United States. To me, it's like the best place to live in the world, for the fact that we do have freedoms here. and I'm very grateful. And I do hope that people here in this country will take advantage and enjoy and embrace the United States as much as I do, and see it as an opportunity to express yourself and enjoy the end of your days. I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.